Hello and welcome. I'm Kateri, also known as Vinoxus. I am a professional tarot reader, and I'm here to show you my tarot collection. As always, this video is time-stamped for your convenience. Feel free to skip to wherever you wish to start. My flip-throughs are comment free if you just want to get right to the goods. Today, I have the Children of Litha Tarot, the Black Edition by Zia Hunt. It is a self-published indie deck. I paid $72 Canadian on her website, and shipping worked out to be $57 Canadian after duties. Please note that I purchased this as part of a full package with the Nameless One Tarot and Oracle, plus an almost 7-pound companion grimoire. I can guarantee you your shipping will be a fraction of this if you just want to get this deck. Link to purchase is in the description. The Black Edition is a reprint of the original Gold Edition, which was a Kickstarter exclusive of $1,200. From what I understand, the difference between the Gold and Black Edition is the Gold has gold edges, a gold foil box, and 2 additional cards called the All and the Void. I am a little sad that I missed out on the Gold Edition, but I do appreciate the commitment to keeping a limited edition deck limited. What's really cool, however, is that Zia is planning on 3 more decks in the Children of the Wheel Tarot series. She's working on Ostara now, with Mabon and Yule upcoming. The Litha themes are animals, humans, and their hybrids, while Ostara's themes are going to be plants, humans, and their hybrids. Mabon is going to be the land of the underworld, with decay and artifacts, while Yule is going to be the world of stone, crystals, and stars. The most exciting part is that they'll all have the same backs, finish, and edging, so you can literally customize a deck if you wish, or all 4 custom decks. I can't wait. This is a 78 card deck using the Rider-Waite-Smith system, although there's some liberties with the minors. The minors depict carefully chosen animals interacting in a way that is reflective of the card meaning. Although at first it seems like a fancy pip deck, you'll realize quite quickly that isn't the case, and it lends super well not only to the RWS system, but the theme of the deck itself. Alright, so let's get into it. So first off, the extras, the bag and the sticker that's inside here did come free with the bundle that I purchased. Was again the entire bundle, including the Nameless Ones Tarot and Oracle, so just keep that in mind. So we do have a nice vinyl sticker here, and this beautiful bag. So the thing is that when it comes to tarot bags, the free ones especially, they're usually a little thin, kind of not that great. This is really nice. It's a really nice plush velvet, and it's a very, very nicely done embroidered front here. Like if I take a look at the inside here, you can tell it's a really nice piece. I'm really impressed with the quality. Usually I don't give too much attention to the tarot bags. They're just something nice to throw the cards in. But this is actually a really, really nice quality piece. Alright, so let's get right into the box itself. Nice box quality. We have the magnet flip here. I don't like the box art. There's something about it just seems a little off to me. And honestly, it was the main reason why I didn't jump on this deck right away, because I saw the backs of the cards and I saw the box of the cards and I wasn't that interested. Although I seen some of the fronts, it didn't really inspire me a whole lot. Don't let my feelings on the box itself affect your interest in the deck, because the deck itself is stunning. But there's just something about this box, it just kind of seems a little low under to me when it comes to the artwork. I don't know, there's something a little off about it. Regardless, it's a nice quality box. If we kind of get right in here, it says the physical prowess of the beast is matched only by the cognitive power of man. When these 2 opposing forces combine, they exceed the sum of their parts and create the divine. For as long as we have been able to tell stories, the truth has been reflected in the narratives that we share of each other. The Children of Litha Tarot takes these stories and interweaves them with ancient wisdoms of the tarot. It is where the human, the beast, and the divine meet to guide you to your truest self. Oop, bit of a tongue twister. Each deck carries 78 fully illustrated cards by Alexander Huntington, complete major and minor arcana, and a comprehensive guidebook. So it's a nice box, can't go wrong with it. What I do like about it, we do open it up and we do have everything inside here. Listen, I love a box when they have the inside printed as well. It makes me very happy. And if we're looking at here, we got sometimes less hero than fool on our journey. It's true, but you need not travel alone. There's more than just you. In the brightness of day, you have the aid of the sun. In the darkness of night, the moon leaves behind none. Though our travels are long and our burdens profound, you will never so lost that you can never be found. That's very cute. And we do have the artist signature on the inside. Very pleased. Very pleased. So before we get into the deck, let's go over the little white book here. As always, I remind you that the little white books are intended to be reference guides, not tarot study. I prefer my little white books to instead give me insight on the artist's decisions for the imagery, symbolism, and depictions of the deck. The reason why I prefer this is because there's a million books out there to learn tarot from, but this little white book is the only opportunity for the artist to communicate their vision for their deck, offer tips and tricks. Does it succeed at that? Yes, absolutely. So it does have some details here about the artists getting to know children of Litha, basically what their intentions of the deck was. What I do like is that they do have some really strong conceptions here of the suits itself. So we have the trump cards, or major arcana, of course, basically showing that the figures in the cards are animal-human hybrids with few and purposeful exceptions. Wow. Because they unite the themes of the human condition and universal primal energies of nature. Pretty neat. The aces are explained as root cards. As the name suggests, they are roots or essence of each suit. Aces may act as fillers for other cards. Purpose of your reading is to explore specific questions. You might seek out the corresponding root card and place it aside face up before shuffling and drawing the remaining cards. That's pretty neat. Like, it's giving you some examples here. So we also have court cards, also Nine of Face cards. These are pages, nice, blah, blah. They often represent people in the queer's life. These cards depict humans interacting with their animal companions, highlighting relationship between them. Yes, so it does give you some more details here when it comes to people. I don't always read court cards as people. I usually read them as descriptors of the situation, but it really kind of depends. I think it's just what comes to me in the reading. When I'm reading for clients, reading for myself, is not always people. I think that's the one thing that a lot of newer practitioners or newer readers kind of get caught up on. They're not always people. Now, if we want to take a look at some card description, if we take a look here, what I meant earlier about it not being a fancy pip deck is that it does actually give you details of why they chose the animals that they did, which is really nice. Family rhinos come together. Okay, we got 10s and 10s. Let's go with the 9s. 9 of swords represent deep psychological anxieties that keep us from peaceful slumber. 3 ravens attempt to dodge flying swords behind a surreal nightmare. So it does explain every reason. So this is a really nice little white book. And again, you can definitely just get away with using this. But again, there's other books out there that's going to explain tarot a lot better. But this is a really, really, really good little white book. It's thick. She got some thickums to them. All right, so let's go to the back of the cards here. And again, as I said earlier, I found that the backs didn't really inspire a whole lot for me. Like, at the end of the day, it is very pretty. Don't get me wrong. There's just something a little off about this to me. It almost feels like a little tribal. Remember those really bad tribal tattoos back in like the 2000s? It feels very that, and it doesn't quite inspire me a whole lot. However, the more time I spend with this deck, the more I actually enjoy the imagery that's on it. So don't mind me complaining about this. It was just my first initial reactions. But now that I spend a little more time with it, it's honestly something I can overlook pretty quickly. But the backs are really nice. They're really, really nice. And when it comes to the edging, yes, edging. We get this nice matte black edging. Ooh, she is nice. When it comes to edging, I think the only thing I don't have in my collection for edging is a nice holographic black. But the matte edges do really work well with the cardstock itself, which I do have comments on. So let's first of all give it a little comparison to our Rider-Waite-Smith when it comes to size, and then we'll discuss the quality there. So same size. Let's go Rider-Waite-Smith. That's again the US Games, just a standard yellow box one. And we got a nice thick card here. I believe it's 350 GSM. But let's talk about this finish. The rose petal finish on these cards. Oof. So they feel really pretty. Like, if you have never experienced this finish before, the best way to describe it is that it really does feel like touching a very soft rose petal. It's very, very soft. The issues with it is that, I don't know if you can see here, but it does hold on to finger grease so easily. Not only that, once I get to the shuffling portion of this video, you're going to find that shuffling is a pain in the neck. There's something very unwieldy about this finish, and it's just unpleasant to kind of work with, regardless of how pleasant it is to touch. It's so strange because tactile wise it feels very like soft on the hands. It feels really pretty, but when it comes to any type of manipulation of the cards, it's rough. And not only that, again, as I said, you do see that there is, it just holds on to things. The benefit to this type of cardstock is that it does lend very well to the art itself, because it does allow colors to kind of stay true. But overall, it's yeah, it's a pain. It's a pain to kind of work with. What I'm going to do is that I will go through the flip through at this point, and yeah, I will give you my final thoughts. Alrighty, so we're gonna first talk about my favorite cards out of each category. It was really hard to pick. Oh my gosh. The entire deck is absolutely stunning. I did have to narrow it down to these three just because it was less that these are my favorite, but these are the ones that I just have commentary on more than anything. First of all, we do have the Wheel of Fortune here, and it is the Wheel of the Year. So we have Litha here on the top, you on the bottom, and then we have that kind of summer and that spring with the sun and the moon. That's really cool. And I do hope that in the rest of the series of this deck series that the Wheel of Fortune kind of keeps that. I think that would be really intelligent. The one thing I've also noticed about the majors is that they're all kind of spilling over on that circle border that you kind of see all over the minors there. However, there is some that don't have that. I'm not quite sure if that was a conscious choice, but I really wish I would have saw all of them spill over because that's really, really nice. I noticed the same with the quartz here. Now, the Knight of Wands is the one that I chose because when it comes to First Nations / Native American depictions in tarot, it's always questionable most times, especially if it's done anything from like 5 years ago and earlier, because I don't feel like Indigenous representation was very strong. Almost any Native American deck I avoid like the plague for that reason. This, however, having a fancy shawl dancer is absolutely beautiful. If you get really in close there, it's almost evocative of a beaded earring, which is really cool. You don't see this too often. Again, a nice, good example of First Nation representation, and I was immediately, the second I saw it, I'm like, ugh, had to have it. Stunning artwork. When it comes to the minors, I picked the ace here just because I found it very interesting. I'm gonna use my crow nose here to point. That the ace itself almost seems separated from the art around it. If we were to take the art out, it would just look like an ace in the center of the card, which is really cool because then it looks like a playing card at that point. But the way that it was approached, just when it comes to perspectives here, is that the perspective of the cup being there in the center but being held in such a way, it's really cool. And again, I think that kind of goes into the idea of the rest of the kind of suits here, where the suit imagery is kind of floating. So this is floating in a way, but the art in the background is just really supporting it, and it's really neat. I really do enjoy how they approached all this. Shuffle quality. It's unpleasant to deal with. It's not so bad today, but I've noticed in the past, like I would have been shuffling, and just when it gets like this, it actually becomes a pain to actually just flatten it out. It becomes really bad at times, and it's not necessarily the easiest to work with, which is not really fun. Today it seems a little easier for whatever reason, but there has been times where I've literally have shuffled it and had to press down to be able to just get it back together, and that's just the finish of the deck. I understand why the artist chose this type of finish because it does look really nice. It does not affect the quality of the art at all. Like a linen finish would have those little kind of like dots on it that you'd have to look past. A gloss finish, you'd have to kind of pull at it. And a matte finish is a little different because a matte finish, although it shows the art off well, it doesn't feel as nice on the hand. But shuffling on this is a pain. So just keep that in mind. This is not, look at that, it's just pulling so much. And I know you've seen me shuffle before and things pull like this, but they're easier to pull together. Like right now, that's I have to press it right in. It's not the most fun to deal with when it comes to shuffling. And I know that the creator actually has a tarot mat Kickstarter that they just did, so I'm sure that's going to be on our website soon enough, where they're actually mats that are built so the cards can be fanned out because this is not going to fan very nicely. You almost have to have a grippy surface to be able to fan these cards. At the end of the day, doesn't matter. Depends on what you do. If you are a professional, I would not recommend this deck because it is going to be such a pain to be able to get these out quick. But if you are the type of person to stay at home and kind of take your time to shuffle, it's really not that big of a deal. It's funny because I actually lost the first recording that I've had on this deck, and I had a lot more nastier things to say about the finish, but I think I've definitely softened to it a little more. I have issues with it, but it's not that bad. Alright, overall thoughts. Honestly, it's a beautiful deck. It is definitely a pricier one, however, the artwork is stunning. The thing is with these types of indie decks, you have a tendency to almost pay for the artwork itself than the quality of the card stock. Although the quality of the card stock is really beautiful here, it just comes into, it's going to be more of a pain to deal with. Like even just now doing the card drop, I'm pulling these cards and they feel like they're almost like sticking together. They like to hug. They like to hug each other. But the artwork, as you can just see, it's very bright. There's something dark about everything. Everything has like a little bit of darkness to it. Like there's no mincing words here. There's no hidden symbology. It's going to be very upfront. However, it is absolutely beautiful. I would say this is probably easily in some of my top decks for sure. And it's not something I expected because for whatever reason, when you look at this deck online, there's just something that, at least for me, it didn't reach out to me immediately until I actually have more cards here. There's actually, again, I didn't connect to it when I saw it online right away, but now that I have it in my hands, there's something beautiful about it, and I would recommend it to anyone, everyone. I'm very excited again for the additional decks that she will be coming out with, because I think this is going to make a very beautiful family. Because where this is very animal based, we have the next one's going to be plant based, and then we have kind of spirit and death based, and then crystals and rocks. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait. I've said it a few times, but I just can't wait. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to you in some way. Follow me on my Instagram at Phenoxys, as I'll be posting a spread inspired by this deck and photos of this deck all week. If you want to give an offering to the algorithm gods in my name, please like and subscribe. And comment below your favorite card from this deck. Honestly, it helps me out a great deal. I do post tarot reviews every Sunday, so I promise to make that subscription worthwhile to you. That's it for me. Good luck, and remember, you're powerful.